Welcome back! In our last video, we got familiar with the tiled builder, its settings, and the basic use of various sections within the builder. Now it's time to take what we learned and apply it to something tangible. In this video, we're going to walk you through practicing the process of building a micro app. To do this, we will download a zip file full of assets necessary to build a micro app, familiarize ourselves with the content of the file, walk through the process of using each of the assets within the micro app builder itself, and utilize various tile types within the builder to bring our design to life. You can preview the micro app we're about to build by viewing it here. Go directly to this URL. Step 1 is to gain access to the assets that we'll need for this exercise. For this, we've included a zip file. Within this folder, we've included a bunch of stuff. The contents of the activity kit, the About scroll tile, a cover image, the tiled builder activity text file, and directions text file. We also have an images folder with 6 images in it, and a pages folder with 7 images in it. For this video, we will be using a Google Chrome browser on a Mac. You can use your preferred computer and browser, though we do suggest Chrome for the best user experience. If you're someone who prefers to follow step-by-step instructions, you can use the directions.txt file and use this video if you get stuck or want to check your work. Go ahead and pause this video, get all set up, and rejoin me when you're logged into your tiled account and ready to learn. Ready? Great. First things first, we need to make a micro app. We're going to title this micro app New York City. Leave the rest of the settings as they are, and then click Create Micro App. We're going to zoom out of our screen here a bit to make everything a bit easier to see. We can do this on our Mac or PC by using the key combinations seen on screen. I have my screen set to 80%. Now we upload our assets. We need to upload everything in the kit except for the TXT files. Everything we upload will appear in our assets tray in the bottom right corner. We're going to start by adding our cover image. Click the gear in the top center next to the micro app title. We simply drag and drop cover image.jpg into the cover image box. And with that done, we can close our settings box and continue building. Next, we have 5 pages, so we need to add 4 more to our page tray here. Before we start dragging and dropping our assets, we're going to need to rename each of these pages. This will ensure that we stay as organized as possible. We have Home, About, Location, Planning, and Gallery. Now we'll drag our assets to the appropriate pages. Since we want these assets to be set as the background for each page, we can do this one of 2 ways. We can either simply drag onto the canvas itself, or we can drop the image into the background box here. For the planning page, we're going to set Planning as our background image. Then we'll use Planning Central Park and Planning Museums as our states. To do this, we click the plus state button twice. Clicking on the state will take us to a blank page where we will upload our Central Park asset as a background, just as we did with the others. Then we set the museum's asset as our second state. Now it's time for our overlay. We click the plus button to the right of overlay, and we see that the overlay tray now contains a single overlay page. You'll notice that nothing appears to change, but as long as we see the blue box around the overlay page, we know we've selected it. Drag the overlay image onto the canvas. We're now going to embed a YouTube video on this overlay page. Drag the video tile onto the overlay page and resize it to fit the indicated window. Now we can see our video settings menu. Open your text file and copy the YouTube URL included at the top of the file. We're going to change the setting to reference a video URL. Once we paste, we'll see options to have the video autoplay, have sound on, or loop. I'm going to go ahead and choose to have the video autoplay. I'm also going to have the controls for the video show. Finally, simply click off the menu to save. Click on the video box at any time to modify the settings. With the overlay completed, let's head to the gallery page. We are going to drag and drop the gallery tile into the designated area on the page and resize to fit. Once placed, simply drag and drop the 3 gallery images into the tile. I'm going to have my images automatically change after 2 seconds and set the controls to white. Next, we're going to add our images to our 3 planning pages. First, we'll drag our image-Broadway file onto the Broadway page and size to fit. We can then copy this image and paste it into our 2 planning states to make sure the images are the same size in each state. We now drag our Central Park and museum images respectively into their appropriate image tiles. With our images uploaded, it's time to add an embed. For our embed, we'll go to the location page. We'll also need the NYC Go URL from the TXT file. Simply drag the embed tile onto the page, resize to fit, then paste the URL into the box. We are now going to add our scroll tile to the About page. We drag the scroll tile onto the page and, of course, resize it. Next, drag the About Scroll image onto the scroll tile. Time for hotspot. Our hotspots fall into two categories: navigational hotspots and external site hotspots. Let's start on the home page. I'm going to drag my hotspot over all 4 images here. I can then click Add Target to create multiple hotspots within a single range. I'm going to add a total of 4 targets, then change my layout to horizontal distribution. We can now see that our hotspots are equally distributed across the area, and I can set each target individually. Next, we create a hotspot to open our overlay. Drag, drop, resize, and add target. Next, I'm going to add navigation to the About page. Once again, we drag and drop the hotspot tile and resize to cover these 4 sections. I add my targets, then indicate the pages they should connect to. We're also going to add the hotspot for our homepage. Note, we are ignoring the Contact Us button for right now. We'll come back to that in another video. Once these are set up, I can copy and paste these hotspots to the other pages with similar navigation types. My pages are now all accessible from one another. Now it's time to add the navigation for our states. Let's go to the planning page. First, we need to make sure our states have the standard navigation that we put on the other pages. Once that's added, we use the same process as before to add navigation between states. Drag and drop the hotspot tile, resize, copy and paste over the other similar navigation. Then adjust the targets of each hotspot. The last set of hotspots we need to establish are those on these 3 planning pages. There's one minor change with these hotspots. We're using an external URL instead of a page within the micro app itself. Using the URLs from your text file, connect each hotspot to the appropriate web page. Since we've done this a few times already, this is your opportunity to practice without a walkthrough. Pause the video and take a few minutes to set up these hotspots. With our URLs entered, we're done and ready to publish. Before we do, let's preview our micro app and ensure everything works as intended. Click around to check our navigation, overlay, and states. Everything looks great. Time to publish. Join us in the next video to learn how to publish and update your new micro app.